The year was 2002. George Lucas just released his 5th Star Wars movie. The second one. And it was not loved, but it was very successful when it came to one thing.
Merchandising, merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made.
I couldn't really find a definitive source for it because when I googled it, all I got was that The Force Awakens was the most marketable movie. But I'm fairly certain Episode 2 was the most profitable when it came out, and that had to be because of the Clone Wars itself. There was just so much merchandise coming from that, including the 2 cartoons and a bunch of games set around that time. And again, like most movies around that time, there were movie tie-in games, and Star Wars was no exception. For Episode 1, there was like at least 2 games that were adaptations of the movie for the PS1, PC, and the Dreamcast, and they were probably the biggest consoles at the time. There were several games tying to the movies as well, going on to other systems like the Nintendo 64 and the Game Boy. There was a total of 10 games for Episode 1 that connected to it in some way or form. Episode 2 had like half of that, and only 1 actual movie adaptation for the Game Boy Advance. I don't even know if Bounty Hunter technically counts for it, since it was set like 10 years before Episode 2.
Did you miss me?
But yeah, there was only 1 tie-in game for the movie. It was on the Game Boy Advance, and it sucked. I already reviewed that game, which the link is in the description, but my point is that it's weird that only the Game Boy Advance got a movie tie-in. You'd think at least a PS2 version would have happened. Sure, Episode 3 only had like 1 game for it, but it was ported into 5 different systems. Attack of the Clones only had 1 game and only on 1 console. Doesn't that seem a little odd to you? But this game technically had a sequel, and no, it wasn't Episode 3. There was another Game Boy Advance game about 6 or 7 months after both the movie and the game came out, called The New Droid Army. And this game is set about 10 months after Episode 2, which tells me that they're either talking about the current Droid Army, or Dooku just got bored and made a new one from scratch. Oh man, doesn't this music just make you excited about playing a new Star Wars game? God, with this screen and this music, it sounds like a Star Wars soap opera is about to start. How come I kinda want to see that? So, the game starts with what else? An opening crawl, which actually tells us nothing except that the Jedi got a message from one of their contacts on Tatooine about something, and they're sending Anakin out to go find them. And oh god, this doesn't look great. Yeah, I know, it's an early Game Boy Advance game, but I should at least mention the graphics once in this review, so let's just move on. Greetings, Anakin. How's your new arm functioning? Oh, wow, Master Windu, that was very thoughtful and kind of you. Oh, it's fine, Master. Anyway, you sent for me? Always impatient is he? Excuse me, Yoda, we're in the middle of a war. Forgive me for trying to contribute. And he also doesn't really let up for some reason. Also, this is about 10 months after Episode 2, and I know nothing's really set in stone, but in the old canon, Anakin was a Jedi Knight at this time. So, you have to go find the contact on Tatooine. And I'm sure Anakin's fine with that. It's not like the last time he was there, he didn't massacre a bunch of Tuskens. Already, this gameplay is way better than Attack of the Clones. It's isometric, meaning that the camera is up and in an angle like this. And combat is better as well. You just press the A button to do the basic attack, and each of the D-pads correlates to a different technique. The B button blocks and the L button switches force powers, with the R button activating it. You do get a map, and even though it is basically go from point A to point B with this weird looking hallway, it's still kinda neat. After walking a bit and slashing some womp rats, you come across B1 battle droids, the main enemies in this game. But that's not saying much, they pretty much all act the same. Each block and swing you do lowers your force bar, and you lose health when you get hit, obviously. You do regain your force bar quickly, but you also have to regain health if you take damage, and you do that by just standing still, gaining more if you turn your lightsaber off. So, at times, you're just stuck standing around waiting for minutes on end until you get the Force Heal ability. So, you spend about 5 minutes slaughtering more men, women, and children before you enter Mos Espa. Welcome to Mos Espa, Outlander. You looking to buy a droid? I'm looking for a droid, but not the kind you deal in. Hey, you don't know his life, he could be dealing with those kinds. Well, I don't know much about droid attacks. Apart from the, a pair of battle droids that Bonnie and Clyde that fucking land speeder just outside of town. So, we have to ask around town, which just translates to don't talk to anyone until you reach this figure with an exclamation point. Excuse me, I'm looking for a woman named Rala. Oh yeah, this looks like a trustworthy source. So, in order to give us the information, we have to go do a side quest. go into the Womp Rat cave and stop whatever is causing the disturbance. And honestly, this is when the game starts to show its biggest problems. You go through this new map of the Womp Rat caves and you have to walk blindly while looking for Anubas, which are these creatures. Good luck knowing that going in. There's something more to this. Oh, you think, Anakin? Oh, you Jedis are so predictable. Oh look, Aura Singh's here. For some reason. Of course, your order didn't see the need to help me when I was younger. Look, Aura, no one really cared enough to remember your backstory, so stop kidding yourself. Let's see how you handle this thermal detonator. Ah, shit. Well, okay, let's just... up to fuck. Really? That was not even like 2 seconds. Well, it's a good thing I can just stand still to recover from a thermal detonator blast. It's not like those things vaporize anything it hits or anything. So now that that's out of the way, we go back into town and get directed towards Watto, who should know where this lady is for some reason. Ah, Annie! Of course I've seen this woman. You want to go towards the moisture farms. Oh, thanks, Watto. You just narrowed it down to every moisture farm on Tatooine. By the way, this is for my mother. Yeah. Well, anyway, now we have to reach the moisture farms, which of course the Tuskens have attacked, so now I gotta go fight them. Which is simple, but they have high ground, which makes getting to them difficult, which often leads to you just standing there in place waiting to heal up. Next, we go to the burning homestead, which was attacked by the new droids led by a witch. And oh no, the new droid!
Lucky shot. Golly.
That was it? He just took longer than the other enemies to kill. If anything, it kinda looked like he was trying to get away from me. And really, can you blame him? That wasn't the new droid army, was it? So we find out that the droids took what's-her-name to Jabba the Hutt for some reason, and we have to go save her. So we reach Jabba's, where we meet Aura Singh again. Save your strength, young one. Who the fuck is this person? She looks like she was heavily photoshopped, and then she just chokes out Anakin. And then Aura Singh just disappears from the rest of the game. Bye, Aura. Have fun getting killed off-screen unceremoniously.
Yotsubai is Beckett. You killed Aura Singh.
Pushed her. Pretty sure the fall killed her.
Sleep well. Oh look, we found Rila. A Jedi and a detective. Where do you find the time? Wow, okay, bitch. I know you're a prisoner in Jabba the Hutt's palace, and that's not really a good thing, but seriously, I don't need the attitude. So, I assume you have a plan to get us out of here? And Anakin does. His plan is that they just walk out of there. And conveniently, they left the lightsaber outside the cell. I guess Jabba runs his prison on the honor system. So, Jabba's been hired by the Techno Union to smuggle stuff through Tatooine. Why? He's moving Pertosis to a planet called Metalorn, which is beyond stupid, considering that the planet is known for having Pertosis on it. And he shouldn't have to smuggle it to the planet, but whatever. Now we have to escape Jabba's palace. And then Rala just proceeds to walk out of the game. She probably got on the same bus as Aura Singh after collecting her paycheck. While we escape, we also have to free some prisoners, but I don't know if you get anything for it. I think it's completely optional. So, while you're escaping, you... Oh. There's platforming in this game. We went through like 4 stages and it's been an hour and now you're throwing in platforming? Is this why we got the force jump ability? Specifically for this? And of course, after you jump, these droids show up out of nowhere so they can shoot your dumbass and you get sent back into the pit. And every time you die, you gotta restart the level. My god, this level's so fucking boring. All the levels are boring. They're all basically the same. It's just a different texture and the layout is different, sure, but it's still all the same go through the intergrid hallway. So we move on from that level and this cutscene plays out.
That was a great scene.
Oh, okay, apparently we landed right next to Sarlacc even though it was nowhere near the cutscene. We have to fight Photoshop Lady from earlier, and 20 seconds later we move on to the next level. Good work, Anakin. But we need you back on Coruscant. We're under attack. And since it takes about 3 days to get from Tatooine to Coruscant, Anakin will make sure to ask what the hell happened when he arrives. So we arrive on Coruscant with the ability to heal, which makes it both easier and harder. And what I mean is, now that we have the ability to heal, we don't have to stand around and wait for a few minutes, but that also means that they're going to be throwing more enemies at us to justify giving us the ability. Welcome back, Anakin. And it's about time. The fight was over 2 days ago. What took you so long? The droid army is attacking the underlevels of Coruscant, which is kind of amazing. I would like to know how they got there. And Obi-Wan says that it'll take all of their strength to beat Pertosis, which, okay, yeah, Pertosis was powerful, but it didn't make things invincible. They just took more damage than usual. So while Obi-Wan goes to get reinforcements at the temple, which honestly sounds like a Padawan's job, we have to go fight the Terminators. Oh, I'm sorry, by go to the temple to get reinforcements, I mean stand there completely still and do nothing. And this level sucks too. There's remote droids that start shooting you off screen, so chances are you're always going to get hit at least once, and they'll always spawn in at least groups of 2, and they'll keep firing, and since they're over the edge, you can't just go swing at them. We run into this guy, Trinox, who walks like he just shit himself. Also, I'm noticing a lack of Pertosis droids in this droid army. It sounds like this whole situation isn't as dire as previously mentioned, and only like a fraction of these droids actually have Pertosis in them. Trinox must have escaped into the underlevel. I better find out what he's up to. Dude, they're invading Coruscant, and they apparently brought enough to have this go on for a while. Who cares what he's up to? And look, there's Barriss. You know, back when she was a Padawan along with Anakin before she became a Padawan around the same time as Ahsoka. And look, there's clones! Already this is a step up from the last game where it was called Attack of the Clones and there wasn't any clones. They'll even shoot at the droids and take them out too. That's really ow! What the fuck? Ow! Quit it! What the fuck, clone? I'm the one Jedi you're not supposed to attack. Yeah, you got this. Just go take out that droideka while I heal. Then we meet Daxter, because, I don't know, he was in the movie, I guess.
How big your pocketbook is.
And we head into the Cantina, which is the start of this game's decline. Before, this game was barely passable. From here on out, this game gets ridiculously bad. You have to go down this hall. Obviously, that's what this whole game is. But they start adding turrets, so now you have to deal with that constantly shooting at you, and they never stop once they spot you. So you'll be constantly going down, attacking the turrets and everyone else, and then you have to find a corner so you can heal without getting hit, and then repeat with the occasional dying all the way through. Getting through this part, we meet this guy. What, you don't remember this guy? His Wikipedia page was the most viewed for a time. So even though we were chasing that Trinox guy and was right on his heels, he apparently got to the Jedi Temple and has apparently destroyed it. Master Skywalker. What a pleasant surprise. You know what? At least Dooku believed that Anakin deserved that promotion. Oh yeah, Dooku's new droid army is impressive, alright. This level leads us to a boss fight with Trinox. And hold on, wait a minute. Something ain't right. That's just the Chiss Bounty Hunter guy. They seriously just photoshopped that guy blue and called it a day. Anyway, boss fight. Oh my god, combat in this is not that great. Yeah, I know I said it was cool in the beginning, but halfway through the game you start to realize how bad everything is. Most enemies, like this doofus here, will hit like a truck and take all of your health bar. You get 2 bars of health, green and red. When red goes down, your full health bar decreases as well, so sometimes you're just running around with 10 health. Bosses are like that as well, but you don't do enough damage against them, and they almost always block. Plus, they can knock all of your health down in one hit.
You are the chosen one!
So, if you're anything like me, you'd find yourself repeating this part over and over again, exploiting the dumb AI to keep running into the wall so you can heal, only to die right away again. But I also found an easy way to beat these bosses. If you continuously press A and left on the D-pad, you'll just keep doing the twirling slash attack. The bosses, for some reason, can't get past this simple move, so you get them in the right loop and you'll be done this fight rather quickly.
Dead.
So, after that, you go back to the Council, which for some reason is always just going to be Yoda and Mace Windu. I guess the other members are taking their Union mandatory vacations. I'm sorry, Master. It never would have happened if I didn't let Dooku escape. No, you did well. The Council should have seen this coming. Wait, the Council's actually taking responsibility and the blame for this? And so we head to the final world, Metalorn. And you got the one force power at last level that's going to be very helpful here. Force Hide. I started using it in this world because I really couldn't be bothered giving a shit about the combat. Plus, for some reason in this map, you have floor alarms that trigger when you walk on them. And they're extremely easy to accidentally step on. And they'll just keep blaring the alarms with droids constantly spawning, with the doors locking until you shut them off. And it also includes these stupid platformings from earlier with massive lava pits, which why the fuck do you have your droid manufacturing facility like this?
No! Not into the pit! It burns!
This part is aggravating to say the least. Plus, we also have like 3 total boss fights that we have to go through. First one being these twin guys, who I swear is just the same guy, just slightly different head angles. And yeah, they can kill you pretty quickly. Luckily, I was able to pin them in a way so I could just twirl one guy to death and then focus on the other. As quickly as they were introduced, they were just as quickly gone. After that, Anakin just finds a bunch of bombs just laying there, and we move on to some more bullshit platforming. Here, you gotta put the 5 bombs in each of the reactors, which is easier said than done with the platforming and enemies everywhere, but I managed to get it done. Next boss fight, you gotta fight that Chiss bounty hunter from earlier, and thank God I have save states. Also, to be honest, this boss fight made me put cheats on. See, he flies around, and the only way to bring him down is to do the force push, and because he flies around, I can't really find a spot in this tiny area to heal. And there's these steam vents which damage you when you walk by them, and again, the bosses hit really hard. I struggled with this boss fight alone. All I did was give myself infinite health so I can defeat the boss and then finish the game, which, after this, everything is relatively easy. So after that, we capture Wat Tambor. You know, that green guy from episode 2.
Is at your disposal, Count.
And this becomes an escort level, which is never fun. 2 minutes until the facility blows up. Why the fuck doesn't Anakin just wait until he's out in the world? We'll never fucking know. But here's the kicker. You need to leave with Wat Tambor, obviously, but that bastard won't follow you if there's droids. So you have to kill everything in your path, and even then, you barely make it out. Come on, come on. Oh my god, why the fuck are you so slow? Let's go. Great, turrets as well. Alright, we're in the final hallway, and are you serious? He got stuck in the corner. What, are you fucking high? Fuck. Alright, let's try this again. Come on, down this hallway, and damn it! There isn't even any enemies here to fight. Why have this 10-second hallway at the end? And there we go. We escaped. The place explodes, and oh, we're still in the facility, even though it blew up. Don't you just love it when games lie to you like that? Okay, final level. Just fight through some droids and then fight Dooku at the end. Same deal as before, you just pin Sir Christopher Lee in the corner and you just keep attacking him until his old man tremors start acting up. And then he taunts you for a bit. I sense confusion. And what's this? Pain over your mother? Oh no, he pulled the haha, your mother's dead card. Wait, how does he know about that? Wait, Dooku, how do you know about my mom? I only told Palpatine about that. Well, you see, oh my god, Palpatine is the Sith Lord. Dooku tells Anakin to release his anger while he also interpret dances it as well. Music gets suppressed for some reason, and second stage of the fight, same as before. So I am beaten. Now you have tasted the power of the dark side. My master foresaw my defeat. You have yet realized your importance, young Skywalker. Blech. Yeah, no joke, Dooku actually dies right here. Kind of. It was later retconned. Yeah, apparently whoever wrote this game thought it was a good idea to have the main villain of the second movie die off in a random Game Boy Advance game that no one played. But because they already had plans for Dooku for episode 3, they quickly retconned this and said this Dooku was just a doppelganger. Because, and I quote, clones were being overused as an explanation for inconsistent deaths. Boy, I'm glad Star Wars never came back to that clone stuff ever again.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Also, what's kinda weird is that I found in the Wikipedia entries, they're a little messed up. Apparently the doppelganger and several bosses died before the bosses you fight and kill before them. So Anakin goes back to the Jedi Council, brags about killing an old guy, gets a pat on the back and a good boy sticker, and game over.
Execute Order 66.
What are we going to do?
And that was the new droid army, and I think that's 2 for 2 on Star Wars Game Boy games that I talk about that sucked. While I do hold this one in higher regards than Attack of the Clones, this falls under the same problems. Boring, tedious levels that all repeat, enemies that just boil down to just enemies with more health and take longer to kill, plus let's add more to fight at once, and that'll add the difficulty. Graphics aren't that great, and I know they're Game Boy Advance games, but we did have some good-looking Game Boy Advance games around that time. If you missed out on this game like I did when it first came out, you're not really missing much. I wouldn't really go and buy this unless you were collecting every Star Wars game. But this also isn't the only game that spins off into the Clone Wars, so join me next review where I'm going to talk about 2 different games that are set during the Clone Wars. Hopefully it's better than this.